said that I was the CEO of Jefferson Consulting, but I retired from the Sheriff's Office after 24 years with JSO. I served in numerous capacities. I served as a patrol officer, riding a beat, answering calls for service, an academy staff instructor, a burglary detective, administrative detective, sex crime detective, police recruiter, federal program coordinator, and the spokesman. I was a spokesman, PIO, for the agency, and then a crime prevention officer during my career with the Sheriff's Office. I left in October 2010. Doesn't seem like it's been that long. It's been that long. It's been 9 years. My hair stopped turning gray when I left. I was trying to figure that one out. So I think it's at a standstill for right now because it's just a little bit of pepper sprinkled in right now. Mostly salt. I've had the awesome privilege of traveling in the U.S., doing all kind of workshops, and, personal safety and security for seniors, for churches, for corporations, guest speaker, keynote speaker on those type of issues, as well as other things. You'll all relate to back in the day. Back in the day, when we could go to sleep at night and leave our doors open or unsecured. You know, everybody had a screen door. You just open the door, you latch your screen door, and you go to bed, catch the breeze coming in, and those days are gone. Unless you live in a rural area where you just remotely located somewhere, those days are basically gone. You can't safely do that unless you just sleep with your little friend next to the door, you know, to protect yourself and to protect your family. Today, society has changed. Society has changed. So let me ask you a question. Like I said, I'm going to be moving pretty fast. Let me ask you a question. I might bounce around with some of this stuff. How many of you, by the show of hands, feel safer today than you did 25, 30 years ago? Feel safer today than you did 25, 30 years ago? Tell me why not. Why don't you? More crime. What kind of crime? Drug related. And that could be theft. That could be homicide. Maybe a combination of both of them. Burglaries. That's a good point. How many of you all have debit cards that you use? Credit cards. When you go to the gas pump, do you put your PIN in the gas pump?
No. Gas pump,
Very
gas
good.
pump, gas pump.
Good. Don't use a PIN. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to never use your PIN. Unless you're in an ATM machine that you know is not, that you know for sure doesn't have a skimmer on it. Because once they get that PIN, they can get you. If there's a skimmer in there, it's going to record all that information, your credit card number, your card number, debit card number, and your PIN. That's what the skimmers do. And they use it and then they sell it. Because people buy it all the time. And one of the things about identity theft, if you legitimately lose your identity, it takes years sometimes to get back. From January to now, if you had to guess how many shootings we've had here in our city, what would you say? Throw out a number.
2,000 shootings?
Just shootings.
2,000.
Oh, no, not 2,000. 10,000?
200.
I'm sorry?
2,000.
2,000, not quite.
Shootings or murders?
Shootings,
No.
shootings. Somebody shot. Somebody shot, whether they were killed or just shot. 295 for October, just in October. And we've not finished with the year yet. Out of that, there have been 115, I think, homicides. There's a difference. Homicide is the taking of one's life by another. Shooting is just you getting shot. You know, if somebody shoots you in the leg, arm, you survive. It's not a homicide. It could be an attempted homicide, depending on the circumstances. That is a lot of shootings for our city. Just a few years ago, we didn't have to worry about that. Just last night on the news, imagine that, I was watching the news. On the news, there was a guy that went in to a gas station. As he was walking out, he got robbed and shot. Does that normally happen, or does regularly happen? No. That's why we kind of feel safe in our environment. How many of you feel safe in your own home? Okay, you don't have to raise your hand on this one. If you live in a gated community, just something to think about. Do you feel safe because you're in a gated community? You do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, tell me why.
Why? Well, my buddy up the street was a Vietnam War veteran, and he has a half a garage full of ammunition and AR. And he has given me the code to his garage door, so I feel very comfortable. I think I live in the same gated community as our congressman does. And I would say that 50% of the people who live there have guns in their homes.
So you're not feeling safe because of the gate, you feel safe because of the weapons.
Yeah.
And that can be
Well,
anywhere.
well, I feel safer with the gate too. I mean, I think.
Tell me why.
Why? Because at least you're stopping the people who would arbitrarily come to your home.
Okay, so let's just be practical. I'm a gunman. I want to do harm to somebody. You live in a gated community. I'm not going to go to the gate and say, I'm a gunman. I'm going to come and do harm to somebody. And I have a gun, let me through. You have people going through the gate every day that didn't live there. Electricians, landscapers, plumbers, visitors. So the gate doesn't protect you. The monitoring of the people kind of does, but when let me just put it this way, in plain simple English. If someone wants to get in the gate, they're going to get in the gate. Just like the school shooting yesterday in California. There was no way they could stop that from happening. Absolutely no way. I said that last night on television. It's a hard pill to swallow, but there was no way they could stop this kid because they have no precautions to stop him. He had a backpack, like all the other kids, but he had a gun in his. Went to the courtyard, pulled it out, and he started shooting. How do you stop that? How do you prevent it? We know how to stop it once it happens, but how do you prevent that? That sort of thing. So let me ask another question because I'm moving fast. How many of you right now in here feel safe? Anybody right here in this room, right here, right now, how many of you feel safe in this building? Okay, define safe. What was that?
Until now.
I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to make you aware. So, how do you protect yourself? How do you put up a defense if you're confronted by someone that wants to do harm? How do you protect yourself? Let's just, for a moment, put away the handguns. Put away the handguns. Yes, sir.
I had a situation with my wife and I. We were in Stamford, Connecticut, in a garage. We watched a little movie. There was maybe one or two cars left in the parking lot. We were walking toward our car. Several kids, semi-adult, were walking toward us in a way that looked threatening. And one of the ways you can protect yourself is follow this rule that that perception is reality. I stopped, I looked at them, I had a jacket on, I opened my jacket and put my hand on the side of my belt. So their perception was I had a gun. The reality was I didn't have one. And it made all the difference in the world. And I think if we follow the rule of dog training, where eye contact is a very commanding belief system, that when somebody threatens you, keep your eyes on them. Keep your eyes on them. Because they're looking for you to look away and be afraid. And so that body language means a lot.
Thank you, Al. That's a very good point, because it goes back to what I was saying, not being afraid, but aware. Being aware. Now, I got to brag on my wife for a minute, because he reminded me of something. when we're out and about in public, those are my eyes, extra eyes and extra ears. She's looking at everything and everybody. Have you all heard the phrase looking at somebody sideways?
It's me.
She will look you sideways in a heartbeat. And if she feels like it, she'll throw a little shade. If she feels like it on that day. So I got a good backup. Usually it's the other way around. I've got a friend of mine who saw the same thing, Al, that you saw, a possible threat. And they were in a laundromat in Texas. They were in a laundromat and they had just bought a brand new car, drove to Texas to visit their son, and they had to wash some clothes, so they went to a local laundromat. She had just put the clothes in the dryer, and he sees these shady looking guys outside, just, you know, doing that suspicious look, looking around to see, and they're in, it's like a group of 4 of them. He's being concerned. She's not paying attention at all. She's got her clothes drying. She's gonna see her son. She hadn't seen him in a while. She's oblivious. So he says to her, honey, get the clothes, let's go. Without explanation, only thing she can think of, I just put the clothes in the dryer, they're wet. And he's looking at them, and he's kind of peripherally looking at her, saying, honey, get the clothes, let's go. I won't use the expletives that he used to motivate his wife. She says to him, I can't leave. I just put 50 cents in the dryer. And then the expletives started exploding. And so he grabbed him and grabbed the clothes out and they left. But that was the keen eye that you have to have. And you're right. You got to look him in the eye. You got to look at people in the eye. They do what I call a vulnerability test. They test you out. Now here in the South, if we're walking along sidewalk or in a store or wherever in public, in the South, if we make eye contact with you, we usually are going to nod or say hello or something. Now up north is a little different. You better not nod. You better not say hello because they think you're vulnerable or you're up to something. But that's the vulnerability test a lot of bad guys will give you to see how congenial you are. See how open you are and apt to talk to them if you're a conversationalist. I've responded to many cases like that. I asked him, how did it start? Well, he just walked up and asked for directions. He was real nice. That's some vulnerability. This is how vulnerable you are. I don't mean you have to be rude. I don't mean you have to be unkind. Just firm. If they ask you for directions in a parking lot, they're up to something. You can quote me on that. They're up to something. If you see a woman with a child, with a baby, walk up to you and say they ran out of gas, they're up to something. They're up to something. Now, I bragged to my wife a minute ago, now I got to tell you about her vulnerability at one time. A lady walked up to her in a parking lot at Wally World, and she's going into the store, and she said, ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you. They always are very apologetic. These are the traits. They're apologetic, they're kind, and they always tell you, God bless you. They always say that. Especially if you don't give them anything. God bless you. That's supposed to give you a guilt trip. You know, oh, well, maybe I'll give them something. But she walked up, she said, I ran out of gas, my baby is hungry. Could you spare a little change? What will a little change buy you? A little nothing, right? But that's just their way of coming on to it. I'm flanking her. I see her talking to the woman with the child, but I also see what she doesn't see. The third party standing by. The third party is waiting for you to open your purse or wallet, and then that third party is going to come either with a gun or a knife or something and strong arm you. The woman with the baby is going to plead the fifth. I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on. I just was asking for it. I don't know that guy. He gets away because you just got robbed. You haven't had time to call the police. She's going to stay there and talk to the police, say, I was just asking for money because we ran out of gas and this, that, and the other. But while the police are coming, usually that woman and the child slips away. Happens all the time, especially during the holidays. Going to your credit union, your bank, retail outlets, You need to be aware of all of these things that's going on around you. There's so many things going on around you. How many of you have ever did a ride along in a police car? Oh, I used to don't get this big a response. 5 of you? 6 of you? It opens your eyes to things that's going on around you that you never would even think about. That radio start going, you never even know a lot of things that's going on. You just, and all kinds of stuff going on around you never even know about it. I would encourage you to do a ride along one time if you're that concerned about it. Concerned about your